My name is Kathy Landon, and the art that I chose is Wanderer Above the Sea of Fog. Wanderer Above the Sea of Fog, the signature work of Caspar Friedrich, David Friedrich, is considered to be one of the most exceptional contributions to the Romanticist movement. Friedrich used elements of design such as contrast, directional forces, and color in this work. This painting can be evaluated with both the formal and expressive theories. Painted in 1818, Wander Above the Sea of Fog is 38.74 inches in height and 29.44 inches in length. It is an oil on canvas representational piece, which is considered an iconic work of the Romanticist movement, as it shows a profound admiration of nature. It is the painting of a man with red tousled hair who is well turned out in a green uniform. He is standing with his back to us. The landscape, filled with mountains, trees, and a sea of fog, is in front of him. The landscape is an amalgamation of the Elbe sandstone mountains in the southeastern part of Germany. According to Dan Scott, Friedrich would first go up to the mountains and make sketches of the landscape. He would then return to his studio to paint the picture and combine his interpretation with his sketches. Friedrich created this work of art right after the Napoleonic Wars. In the early 1800s, Napoleon conquered the German states and consolidated them into the Confederation of the Rhine. After Napoleon's defeat in 1815, the Congress of Vienna once again splintered the German states into 39 separate entities. Because of this, it is possible that The Wanderer Above the Sea of Fog could be considered a historical piece. However, as Friedrich was a very religious man, this painting might also be considered as such. What we know as facts are, it is a man with red hair, dressed in a green uniform, and a walking stick. He is standing on a rocky cliff, his back is to us, and the mountains, clouds, and fog are in front of him. Several elements of design were used quite successfully in this work. The first is the element of contrast. He incorporated a sharp contrast in the value scale of dark and light by using the extremes. The foreground is very dark. If you move up the painting, you will see that the background is noticeably lighter. The contrast is taken a step further, and the fact that the dark objects, the man and the rocks, are solid. The lighter objects, the sky, clouds, and fog, are airy and transient. This creates a striking contrast with the dark and light objects, adding a greater brightness to the fog and sky. He has also included both hard and soft edges. There is a sharp contrast between the sky and the rocks. At the same time, there are soft edges which create a weak contrast within the sky, the clouds, and the fog. The colors are blended to create this. Much of the painting is in blues and pinks, while the uniform is dark green. The colors get cooler as you move up the mountain as well, or up the painting as well. The lighter colors create a large amount of negative space, which is balanced by a smaller amount of positive space. It is only framed at the bottom of the rocks. This increases the vastness of the landscape. Friedrich uses directional forces as well. The rocks on which the man stands create an upside-down V shape, which lead your eyes to the man. This in turn leads you to where he is looking, which is the mountains, clouds, and fog in front of him. The man is in the center of the painting. The man's stance is tall but not perfectly straight. This technique is called contrapposto, which is Italian for opposite or counter. The man is leaning on one leg, with a slight shift in his body. This gives an air of self-confidence and strength to the figure. It is hard to be sure of the meaning behind this painting, as it was painted in 1818. Friedrich would put both religious and political statements in his work. Therefore, Wanderer Above the Sea of Fog could be either or both. Some believe that it may possibly be a patriotic epitaph to Colonel Friedrich Gotthard von Bricken because of the green uniform. This green uniform was worn by the volunteer rangers who fought for German freedom. When this piece was created, the uniform had actually been outlawed. By putting it in his painting, he may have been taking a subtle stand against those currently governing the country. This painting was actually abused during World War II by the Nazis, who used it as an extreme example of nationalism. Some people believe that this is a self-portrait of Friedrich, as both he and the Wanderer have red hair. Still others believe that it is a man who is taking in the awesome nature of God's creation. He has climbed to the top of the mountain, standing on the edge, and is in awe of the beauty before him. The title, Wanderer Above the Sea of Fog, gives the idea of a sojourner who has made his way to the top of the mountains. He can now take in the beauty before him. Is he confident? Is he afraid? Has he just completed a momentous task? Is he about to embark on one? We don't know, as we cannot see his face. This leads itself to be interpreted by each individual. To evaluate this work using the 3 philosophies of evaluation listed, I will start with the weakest, which is the contextual theory. Friedrich was known for his political statements. As mentioned before, this painting is thought by some to be a statement for freedom against the conquerors of Germany. On the other hand, it might have been painted to show the magnificence of God's creation. This could lead others to an appreciation of the creation and inspire them to take care of it. The second philosophy of evaluation I want to look at is the expressive theory. Wanderer Above the Sea of Fog draws one into the picture. The formal and technical qualities of the painting are excellent. This mysterious wanderer draws out deep emotion. We don't know what he is feeling, as we cannot see his expression. Is he lonely or satisfied? Is he feeling afraid of what might be next in his life? Or is he just reveling in God's glorious creation? He's standing at the edge of the top of a mountain. What is his next move? Friedrich leaves much to our imagination. Therefore, we can put ourselves in this man's place with whichever emotion we may feel. To be sure, we have all felt at least one of them. The last philosophy of evaluation to look at is the formal theory. The formal theory is concerned with the technical execution of the art piece. Friedrich's Wanderer Above the Sea of Fog is an excellent example of this. His use of contrast in value is extraordinary, as he has used the extremes of dark and light. He also connected these values with solids and transient objects. Directional forces move your eye to the man and then to the landscape. His use of negative and positive space also creates a balance in the painting. This theory, along with the expressive theory, are useful in evaluating the painting. Wanderer Above the Sea of Fog by Caspar David Friedrich includes many principles of design to present an iconic romantic painting. The use of contrast in value, directional forces, negative space, and balance create a beautiful piece of art. It is in it a mysterious man gazing at the mountains, clouds, and fog. The formal and expressive theories can easily be used to evaluate it. Although this mysterious man radiates a sense of confidence and bravery, I have to wonder if he is not terrified of what might be ahead and is seeking either comfort or help from the Almighty. And the last page is the works cited.